Morning world, and welcome to Wednesday, 24th of July. We're on our way to meet the Can-Am man. Right, so here it is in our freshly cleaned out, no wheat left barn. Oh, 2 flat tires. Yeah, so we knew there was an issue with at least one of the tires. I didn't know there was an issue with 2. So yeah, hence the reason I've not done any review on this thing, because, well, and a flat tire. Basically, the short version of the story is, Dad saw this at the Barclay show, liked the look of it, and because he just changed his hearing aids, had decided that his old Kubota was a bit loud, being a diesel engine, and he wanted something a bit quieter and maybe a bit more comfortable, and something with a decent heater. So this ticked all those boxes. The downside for my dad is, though, is the Kubota is hydrostatic. So if you put your foot on the throttle, it goes. If you take your foot off the throttle, it stops. This chap is not. So he's got to take his foot off the throttle and put it on the brake to stop. And at his age and his reaction time and everything else, he drove it home, and he more or less made his mind up when he got home. It was kind of, for him and his ability, and he was being realistic and honest about it, this probably wasn't as safe for him as his Kubota. So, and then sort of he had time, he drove it up and down a few times, and although he likes it, nothing wrong with the machine, and for me, I'd have no problem with that whatsoever. But for him, because he's got reduced sensation in his hands and feet, he likes to fall over his feet, he decided that as much as he liked it, probably not a sensible idea for him. So this isn't a case of us giving up on looking at a replacement for the Kubota. It's just that this isn't the one. So nothing against Can-Am, nothing against the Traxter. Nice machine. So I think the other thing that kind of decided it for him was the £11,000 check he would have to write to change. So to buy this, his Kubota, and £11,000 as well. And he basically said to me, he said, it's for me, for the amount he does, once or twice a week, he drives it from his house to here, which is a mile. It's not worth it. So, realistically. Anyway, so Sean's on his way to come and collect it. I've told him it's got a flat tire. I didn't know it had 2 flat tires. So he's probably not going to be overly happy about that, which is fair enough. But he did say that they were having some issues with one or other of the tires not sealing properly on the rim. I don't know. So I've not had a chance to have a drive in this and give you an opinion of what I think. Sorry. But yeah. It looks the part. But 23,000 quid? Personally, I'd rather put that towards another barn. Right, well, while we're waiting for Sean, we're just going to have a quick look at the crop, which is definitely changing colour. Have we had any rain over here? We had a shower of rain at home before I left, and everything was wet. So, yeah, it's damp, but not wet. So still plenty of green in the stems, but the heads are certainly turning. And the flag leaves are, I mean, this is on the periphery. I'm hoping the flag leaves are in better nick than that, because that is pretty dire, really. This is the chap that puts all the energy into that. So without that, this bit's not going to be any good. But, you know, I know Reg has sprayed for fungus and septora and rust, and I can't remember if he said it was brown rust or yellow rust. But yeah, we'll find out when it comes off. So this is going to be, as far as we're aware, I'm pretty sure it is, Reg's last year on the combine. Next year, we're going to, well, I think the plan is winter barley. We'll get this off, get the ground just roughed up, sprayed off, and winter barley. I think Reg is going to plant the barley for us, and then next year, new contractor. I just got to pick which one. I suppose while I'm waiting, I could maybe put some air in one of those tyres. Have I got my pump? Yes, I do. I've got a dancing compressor. Thing is, if it's off the bead, it may not pump up fast enough. We'll see. It's going up. Here's Sean. $20 a do. Where did the cap go? Where did the cap go? Well, I might as well do both of them, haven't I? Try not to lose the cap this time, Ian. I think it's just under the tyre this side. All right. Morning.
Hey mate, all right.
Not too bad. They were both flat on the back.
I reckon it must be used on the beats.
Yeah.
I don't normally get it.
I put 20 psi in the one.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what they're supposed to have, so.
Sort of, they're going to have to come off, have to crack them off, put some bead sealer on them, I think.
Yeah. Oh well.
There were some blooming punctures.
It's a piddly little compressor, but it gets you out of trouble.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to find mine this morning. I bought a foot pump.
Oh, have you? Oh, well, that's better than the foot pump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got a PCL one, but we tried looking everywhere this morning. We couldn't find it.
Oh, right. Yeah, it was the it was not being hydrostatic that killed it for him.
Yeah, well, we thought that.
Yeah. So his son said, I think he put the ramps up too narrow. And I very nearly believed him, but you know what? He's learned enough of those things. He kind of knows how wide it is, so he's on there. So I'll lock up here, go back and see me dad, and then probably back to the farm because we've got some folks staying with us for a few days on they're camping out on the little campsite. Angela and Colin. So Yeah, so Angela and Colin, if you wondered where I was when you arrived, now you know. I was here doing this. I didn't want to get Dad to come up and do it. I wanted to do this myself, so. I'll put you back in there. This is the bit that no one else ever does. If I lend them this, it always comes back with all the cables out and the pressure pipe out, and never back in the bag. Usually a daughter. That's it. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Right, I better get the van out of here. So, although it's not really a very small standard size garage, I am starting to smell the fumes. In you go. Good girl. Right. Did they? They did. So I just remembered when the guys were here today, I said, oh, while you're here, pull those few ragwort that are out there. I can't see any yellow, so they did it. Thanks, chaps. Gonna go and tease Samantha a bit more. Go and rub it in a bit. We're all giving Samantha our time, so I got 3 daughters here for a minute, and Sam was down here chucking a ball for the dog or something, and she's fallen off the decking and twisted her ankle. So I've got her sat in my chair in the lounge with her foot up on 2 cushions with my old ice pack that I used to have for when I used to injure myself quite a lot, wrapped up in a tail on her leg, so she's all in there and everybody's in there laughing at her. So although she's just had her hair done and it does look actually quite stunning. It's like a silver, it's like a pearlescent silver. As the light touches it, it just goes like, yeah, it's almost a Targaryen, but more silver. Anyway, so lads are back. I've got 2 guys working here and 2 guys working up in the town because the job that we had on for this afternoon only needed 2. So yeah, I got 2 guys here. Me, well, I cleared the north end of the barn yard yesterday, and so far I haven't done anything on the south end. So I think it's a case of out here, shut some gates, move some feeders, which I'm probably going to put out in the field actually, and start having a tidy up in here. If you want to tag along, you're welcome. So even though I'm feeding the cattle, there is quite a bite still out here. It's just that they're a bit fussy, and I don't know what it is about down this left-hand side of the field in these paddocks. Is it because Abby's sheep used to spend a lot of time out here and they've tainted the ground and the cattle are going, tastes like sheep? Or is there another reason? I mean, is it where the leaves have blown off the trees and they come out here and the tannins in the leaf has also turned the soil a little bit not so nice? I don't know the answer to that question, and I can't ask them because they don't speak English and I don't speak cow. Right, you can go across there. They're going to be really annoyed about that, but that's kind of tough, isn't it? We'll have a knot on this side where they can't reach it so easy. Pallet forks, I think. That's what we want. tipping this out here to take it up there, I might as well, if I can. We are heavy. Let down quietly out there for a minute so no one seems to be very bothered about me doing this, but much easier to do it when they're not looking. Right, daughter number 2 is taking daughter number 1 for an x-ray because her ankle's swollen right up, and she needs to know, because she's on duty tomorrow for the ambulance service, so she needs to know if it's just a sprain or if she's broken something. Problem with that is daughter number 2, I've left my grandchildren in the house and they just run me to say they're going. It's a kind of, do you want to come up and babysit? And they've gone. It's not like I got a choice, is it? So far today, I've managed to move 3 feeders out of the yard and picked up 3 stones. Hopefully we're going to come back to this later. I'm not wired up for little kids. And I don't know if I could manage another hour and a half of frozen. Pray for me. So after all that, it turns out I wasn't the only person who was told they had to babysit their grandchildren. Audrey, when I got out of the house, she was already doing it. So I'm kind of off the hook. I just said, thank you very much indeed, fantastic, lovely job, gone. Well, you don't want to give them a chance to change your mind, do you? We have got more than a quarter tank of fuel. So the plan is basically just scrape the yard gently. I don't want to pick up any more stone. Get all the muck off of it, or the worst of the muck off of it, and then Tim can come back with his little spray can and his string line and his tape measure, and then X marks the spot where I'm going to be digging some holes. Just tickle it over the top, nothing too aggressive. That was a stone. We don't want that.